Each week at this time we do what we call our community moment, and it's a chance for people from the Oasis community to share kind of a brief 10-minute or less thought for the day. Might be a life experience you've had, might be an idea from a book you've read, might be some hobby you're passionate about that you'd like to share with us. We've had some incredible community moments representing the diversity and the gifts of the people in this community. So today we have I think it's a first-time community moment presenter. Where is he? Oh, he's over here. Okay. Let's welcome Daniel Sample.
Thank you. First they say to imagine everybody in their underwear. That's not helping me. And it's too early for a beer. Anyway. Today I'm here to talk about Star Trek. And yes, I am single. Over the last year and a half or so, I've been going through and rewatching all the Star Trek episodes, starting with the original series, through the animated, through the later movies and TV shows. And I came across one show from the original series that kind of really spoke to me, and it is the Corbomite Maneuver. This episode deals with the Enterprise going to the furthest reaches of space where any humans have been. And they run into a nasty-looking alien who tells them to turn around, don't go any further. Of course, Captain Kirk and crew kind of resist that and try to talk him into letting him go on. Eventually, they have a little battle, and it leads to the alien being in a damaged ship and adrift in space. There are three things Captain Kirk and his crew could do. They could leave the alien there and just let him drift. They could finish him off, or they could assist him. And they decide to assist him without any thought. Captain Kirk said, we have to go over there and help him. And so they go over there, help him. And then it turns out that the alien is not really scary at all. It's actually a young Clint Howard, which still is kind of scary, actually. This was a test of the Enterprise crew to see what type of beings they were, and they passed the test. Now, watching that episode, it kind of struck me as what's going on in the political world today. It seems like all they're talking about is fear. Fear of people who look different from us. Fear of people who don't speak the same language, have different beliefs, pray to the different sky daddies. But they all have, and even on the Democratic side, you see a lot of the negativity as well. Unlike the days when Franklin Roosevelt, John F. Kennedy, even Ronald Reagan were preaching messages of hope, landing a man on the moon, it's dawn or morning in America, and only thing you have to fear is fear itself. Unfortunately, those kind of messages have disappeared. We still have good words that we say that we live by. And this is from the Statue of Liberty, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses. Unfortunately, nowadays, we seem to be just ignoring those words. And unfortunately, we have done that several times in our past. In 1939, the U.S. turned back a ship full of Jewish refugees from Europe. And they decided the best thing to do was turn them back and send them back to where they came from. Unfortunately, several of those people were killed later on in the Holocaust. Around the same period, we interned Japanese Americans just because they looked like people who bombed Pearl Harbor. Then we have people like this, who basically want to close off the borders, build huge walls, and cut us off from everything outside the U.S. We do seem to be going in the wrong direction in many ways. We're making up imaginary boogeymen. And we have presidential candidates actually accepting endorsements from people like this pastor who believes that Hitler was sent by God to be a hunter to convert the Jews. Also, freedom of speech is under attack at university campuses, so it's not just a right-wing thing, it's a left-wing thing too. People are afraid to hear opposing opinions, even opinions that are just horrible, like the pastor from before. People just want to pretend they don't hear, put their hands over their ears and go, nah, 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 I can't hear, I can't hear. And then we need to decide which road do we want to take. Now, the reason I brought up Star Trek is because it's an idealized future, where instead of being fearful, we're adventurous. We want to see what's different. We're out there exploring. And we've forgotten about all that, it seems to me. We don't want to explore. We just want to stay in our bubble, in our gated communities, sitting in our little shelters, polishing our weapons in case any strange or scary-looking thing comes along. And because of this, I say that, we need to remember what we say we prize, our Constitution, the Statue of Liberty, our beliefs that we claim to hold deep and dear. So whenever I start getting frustrated with it, watching, say, the debates last night and seeing all the negativity, I always ask myself, what would Captain Kirk do? And I think we all know the answer to that. But he also had a message of hope. Going out there boldly searching for new life and civilizations and not being afraid. And I really hope that can come back in our country, where we stop being so afraid of the unknown and start embracing it and going forward.